Hi everyone. I want to talk about a little bit today about U.S. veterans and my president's opinion on sending money to Africa. And I also want to tell Americans exactly how much money is, well, not exactly, but around about how much money is being sent to South Africa to be stolen by the corrupt government, and that this astronomical amount of money that could be going to our veterans that are homeless, that do not get proper medical care, that are suffering, that this money could be going to them to build homes for them. And, you know, I am an American citizen. I'm a taxpayer. I don't want my money going to this corrupt government regime where the money never goes to aid the actual people that live there, that are in need. But before I talk about that, I want to say that I noticed some comments on the video I made yesterday. And what I noticed is a couple of the people making rude comments or judgmental comments are people that I know who they are. I've blocked from Facebook, and they were pretty mad about it. And they're just followers of someone else who perpetrate attacks because of someone else. Well, it's, you know what, I can't help that these people are followers and not leaders. I can't help that you haven't made your own way. Okay, I can stand on my own 2 feet. Where there's not a path, I will make one. I'm not going to follow anyone or just believe anything anyone says. So you can save it, because I see through it. And for the lady that I'm talking about, who's a real bitch, by the way, I don't like making videos, okay? I've never made a video speaking on any other subject than South Africa and what's going on there, okay? I'm not a professional at making videos, and nor do I want to be. And her comment was that I was inciting fear and that I only wanted attention. Let me tell you something, lady. If I wanted attention, it's not hard to get. If I wanted to amass a huge following and a huge subscriber list on YouTube, all I would have to do is talk about anything else. Anything else. America, bow hunting, guns, Venezuela. I could talk about anything. I could wear a bathing suit if I chose to. I don't. I talk about South Africa, the most controversial subject that there could be, that makes people hate you, attack you viciously. It's lies, or they deserve it, or whatever it may be, okay? This subject does not gain you attention if you're seeking to gain attention in the way that you are accusing, okay? And that's bullshit. If I wanted to be popular, this is not what I would be talking about, okay? I could talk about anything else and have a hugely successful channel or whatever. No, instead I'm attacked, I am slandered, I am threatened with rape, torture, you name it, it's been done to me. So piss off, okay? Yeah, I don't talk loud enough sometimes. Yes, I say words differently than you would, or refer to things differently. I am an American, in case you didn't notice. We refer to things that may be the same things differently here, okay? You get what I'm saying. The information is getting out there. The information is correct. I know where the information comes from, okay? And I wouldn't just put anything out there. And if it's something I think is important, but I don't know it to be 100% fact, I say that. So you're wasting your time on attacking me because I don't care. I really think you're pathetic. And it's not my fault that you sit behind a computer and you don't take any action or actually try to do anything to help your people except attack people that are actively doing things to try their best to help. So, goodbye and have a nice day. Jump off a bridge. I don't care. Now, with that said, everyone else, good morning. I know you're just waking up. I'll post this video, and by the time it's up, Americans will be able to see it as well. So, one thing I wanted to say was, so the U.S. has been failing its veterans for a long time now. The suicide rate for our veterans within the VA healthcare system is extremely high. There are, I believe, about 70,000 homeless veterans. No veteran should ever be homeless. No veteran should ever do without health care, mental health care, whatever it is they need, okay? The overall concern for veterans has gotten better under the current administration. But as an American citizen and a taxpayer, I want to tell every other American citizen, taxpayer, patriot, that America sends around $500 million a year to South Africa in aid. So add that up over 25 years, that's about $12.5 billion. And that number has changed over the years. It's fluctuated under different administrations. So this is just an estimate. This doesn't include all the rest of Africa, which is thoroughly corrupt as well. So over the past 25 years under ANC rule, we've sent about $12.5 billion just to South Africa alone. So this money is sent to, is aid to help with AIDS, with, you know, to help the people of South Africa, the education system, things of that nature. Instead, this money never sees any place it's supposed to go to help the people of South Africa. Why? Because they have a tyrannical government and the money is stolen. They live like kings. They drive Lamborghinis, Maseratis. They're billionaires, government officials. And it's completely corrupt. Every government agency there is corrupt. And I pretty much learned this by reading the Agreasy affidavit, 105 pages long. And I mean, he reveals corruption. Even the post office, the airport, thoroughly corrupt. It's horrible. So all of this money that we send over there that could be going to provide for our veterans, which we should be doing, and this pisses me off, is going to line the pockets of the corrupt ANC and other officials in power there. And the people are starving. There's an AIDS epidemic. The crime rate is astronomically high. The murder rate is even more insane. It's just, I don't want my money going to this, and we should cut this money off. We should demand that we stop sending aid to this government to line their pockets and buy them whatever they want. I don't want my tax money going to that. It's ridiculous. We should be helping our veterans. So my president, he voiced his concerns on the money that we send to Africa. So he's openly stated his concerns about sending money to Africa. The Trump administration feels that U.S. aid in Africa has become a moral hazard, absolving African regimes from responsibility to care and provide for their own people. And this is true. This is true. They don't even care at all. They don't care. The regimes that are heavily dependent on the safety net of foreign aid, they receive sustained infusions of multilateral loans, perpetual supply of humanitarian assistance, and they would probably behave differently if they were left to their own devices to deal with the consequences of the mismanagement of these economies, debilitating corruption and proliferating, grinding poverty. Just ask yourself, as an American, why is it never enough? Where does the money go? These people don't even have proper electricity right now because money that was supposed to be used for infrastructure to update these electrical substations, instead of being used for that, it was mostly pocketed. So they have substations that are blowing up because they're not meant to be turned off and on. So when they turn them on, they blow up. There is also sabotage. Some of them are being set on fire, but that's on top of the major problem that they're all crumbling, basically blowing up. So it's just a huge problem. We need to stop sending money to these assholes. I don't want to work so that they can eat, you know, whatever they want. The people starve, and so they can drive a Lamborghini. I don't drive a Lamborghini. Why the hell should my money be sent over there for them to drive a Lamborghini, for their children to fly on private jets and brag about it on Instagram? That's bullshit. So it makes me furious that we could be using that money to provide for our veterans, and instead we're using that money to fund a tyrannical government that calls for the slaughter of its own citizens instead of taking them out of power like we should do and replacing them, which is what needs to be done. So the DA leader, he said at a media briefing on Wednesday that an investigation into the ANC funders would establish links between those who benefited from state contracts and those who funded the party. A good example is Bezos. Bezos has been implicated in wide-scale corruption and has been benefited from billions of rand in state contracts. So tender fraud, something I was kind of speaking on a while back. The Electoral Commission of South Africa has agreed to investigate a DA complaint that the ANC received election money from Bezos. The allegation is that Bezos, now African Global Operations, I don't know how that's still working, set up ANC election war rooms at their headquarters over the past 3 elections and funded the campaigns to the tune of R$6 million. Whoa. That just blows me away. So the ANC qualified as an enterprise as per the definition. And there was evidence that the ANC satisfied the requirements of racketeering, an unlawful activity as defined in the Act. There exists a clear-cut criminal case for the ANC to answer to. The organization must be heavily fined, and individual members found guilty must be locked away behind bars. I agree. The prosecutors, the DA said that it was not sufficient to only hold individuals within the organization responsible for criminal acts, as these individual acts of wrongdoing were part of a larger, organized, systemized program of criminality. And that is true. Since the first revelations of mass-scale ANC corruption, as far back as January 2001, when people learned about the now infamous arms deal, the ANC as an organization has for almost 20 years acted as a collective criminal syndicate operating to enrich itself, its members, and its dirty business connections. The express aim of the ANC's National Democratic Revolution, its governance blueprint, is to capture the state, which I believe they already have. The ANC is a racketeering syndicate whose primary reason for existence is to siphon off public funds to themselves and their connected cadres. This is true. For example, the New York Times article I read on David Mabuza explains exactly why he wanted to work in the education sector, because most of the money allocated from government goes to healthcare and education. And they laid out how he pocketed so much of this money and the schools were falling apart. So the inconvenient truth is corruption is in the very DNA of the ANC. It was not simply a feature of Jacob Zuma and the Gupta family. It existed long before his presidency and has outlived his presidency. From the arms deal to power stations, from BBS and Bezosa, from Chancellor House to the SSA, and to every ANC-run municipality in the country, the pattern is the same. Despite overwhelming evidence of corruption at hand, including the litany of criminal cases opened by the DA, not one implicated person, official, or organization has been held accountable for the theft of public money. That is a real shame. And I can vouch for this because myself and the other person that I work very closely with, we have very damning evidence against David Mabuza and Cyril Ramaphosa. And the saddest part is that we have tried to file this stuff. No one will touch it. They are so completely corrupt that no one will touch it. And when I tell you that we have evidence of things that Ramaphosa has openly said he had no part in, he doesn't know anything about, and we have documents proving that he does. And, you know, Deputy President Mabuza, we have very damning documents on the rumors that have gone around about the murders and the hitman. We have proof of it. We sent these to the ANC chief whip, to the president himself, and to the Zondo Commission with a complaint lodged. We got confirmation back from all three. Never heard anything again. So this is a problem. I mean, they should not be above the law. They should not be above the law. And I will say again, before I end this, that as Americans, we should stand up and demand that our money stop going to these corrupt government officials who terrorize their own citizens. We could use this money to take care of our veterans, because they should come first. They should be before anyone. And I find it shameful that no one else has called this out and spoken out in defense of, our own country, our own veterans. Instead, we send the money to completely corrupt, and our government knows they're corrupt. So if you're American, I urge you to write your congressman, your senator, the president, and tell them that you want your money to stop going to these corrupt murderers, and that we want it to start going to take care of our veterans who gave us the freedom to sleep peacefully at night. Unlike these people in South Africa, they don't sleep because they fear people coming in the night and attacking and murdering and torturing their families. So in order to stop all of this, we need to stop all aid to them, all aid to the government. The money should not go to this government. So thank you guys for listening, and I appreciate every one of my subscribers. There's something else I want to talk about. I'll probably talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, I don't want to make this too long, so I'm just going to go ahead and stop here. So it's time for me to go to bed. Thank you guys very much, and have a good day. And Americans, good night.